More spring training reports with the Buccos and with Bob Walk. Walkie, good morning to you. Good to have you with us again another year.
Good, Jack. I'm glad to be with you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. The sun is shining here, and, it's moving on here with Pirates baseball. And I got to ask you, with a couple of wins here over the weekend, they got in the win column, and just your assessment so far of what you've seen with the Bucks.
Oh, everything's going fine to this point, although Clay Holmes did break his foot the other day, and he'll be out probably a month or so while his foot will be in one of those walking boot things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing that's really been any kind of a problem at all. And, he wasn't assured a spot on the team, but, he was one of the guys I think that were definitely in the running for one of those last couple spots in the bullpen. So that's too bad for him, but at least right now it looks like he'll start the season on the, well, I don't know what they call it now. It used to be the disabled list.
Yeah,
the name.
Whatever it is.
Anyway, everything's going fine. The bats were definitely behind the pitching when the spring training started. We weren't doing much as far as swinging the bats and hitting the ball, but I think that's coming around a little bit. I look at individual stuff way more than I look at the score. I really, to be honest with you, I could care less what the score is, as long as the guys that I know are going to be a major part of our team this year, or have a chance to be a major part of our team this year, are doing well. And yesterday, I thought Frazier had some great at-bats, hit the ball very well. Good to see him doing that. I mean, he looked like the Frazier we normally see out there. And I thought Cole Tucker has some great at-bats, too. That's the thing that's kind of missing with him. Everybody knows he's a whiz with the glove out there, but can he hit? Yesterday, he looked real good at the plate, so I thought that was a big plus. But those are the things in spring training. You look at the individual, the personal stuff. What are those guys doing? Are they getting ready? Is Joe Musgrove on track? Those are the things that are important.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned, of course, the Pirates did score a whole bunch of runs and about bats. Is there any chance you think the Bucks might pick up another bat? There are a few players lingering about that don't have teams yet.
I don't know if there's a bat out there that's going to be able to be in like, for instance, center field. We could use an offensive bat in center field, but I don't think they've been able to find one of those. They've decided to go the defensive route right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Dyson, he's still a good defender, great speed, but he's not much with the stick. So I just think right now that there's no really position. They're kind of jammed up in a lot of spots. Good hitting catchers are extremely difficult to find and very expensive if you do have one. So I just don't see him adding a impact bat at this stage of spring training.
We've heard that the atmosphere, there's more fun in the game, the atmosphere surrounding the Pirates, totally. Do you grasp that too?
Oh, that's one of the very first things you notice the first 5 minutes you're at the ballpark, for the first time. I'm kind of used to the different atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's very, very enjoyable. Everybody is happy and very talkative. From the guys that work for the Pirates, the clubhouse guys, to the players, the coaches. I mean, it's totally different. You notice it right away, and that's what they were looking for. They wanted to change things up a little bit, and they certainly accomplished that. Now, that alone doesn't translate into wins. You still got to get these guys to execute. You got to stay pretty much injury free. Those things will help us win ball games, more than laughing and smiling and having a good time. But that still is part of it. These guys have to enjoy coming to the ballpark every day. They have to, go out there with good mindsets and be positive, or they're not going to be able to perform well. And when they don't perform well, obviously you're not going to get your wins. So it's a big mix, and that's always getting the club to work together and pull in the same direction. That's really more the manager's job than X's and O's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knows You can find all kinds of people that have a good grasp on, oh, we should hit and run here. Oh, we need to make a pitching change here. I mean, you and I can do that sitting in the stands, but interacting with the players and getting them to go, it's what you're doing before the game starts and after it's over. Those are the important things about being a manager. It's managing people. It's just like any other walk of life. If you're in a managerial role, I mean, what are you doing? You're managing your people.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Shelton really, he seems to have that knack of, the guys really like him and enjoy interacting with him, going in his office, hanging out, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mitch Keller today, is that right, against the Blue Jays? Yep.
One of the important parts of this season is to get Keller to really establish himself in that rotation. There's some key things if we're going to win. Yesterday during the game, I was talking a lot about Polanco being at the top of one of those lists you put together of things that have to happen. Well, his offense has to really come on this year, put up some numbers. I mean, that's a bat you can add. He was missing in action all last year. So talk about a bat you can add. Well, let's add Polanco's. Got my fingers crossed, but Keller is in that same category. He has to take that step forward and become a maybe not an ace. I know he wants to be an ace. He really is striving toward being a top of the rotation guy, and I'm glad to see that. I think he has that physical ability. We'll wait and see if he gets there, but he certainly has to establish himself to be a good big league pitcher, to where when he's pitching any given day, your club's going to have a good chance to win that ball game. Yeah. You want to have that feeling when you see his name on that lineup card.
Mm-hmm. Walkie, thanks a lot. We'll talk with you, get an update on Wednesday. We'll have the game on the radio today.
All right. I look forward to it. Talk to you Wednesday.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. Bob Walk for Diamond Drug Medical Supply and Laurel Eye Care, and we'll have the next report, of course, Wednesday morning.